Everyone loves to hate on these light stands, but find me another light stand that's stable and you can fit 7 in a small drawer. Doesn't exist. So here's my wireless Go mics. I bought these at the same time. They get about the same amount of use. And this one, the transmitter, the battery, if I put it away charged, after about a week of it sitting, turned off, the battery's dead. And it cut out on me on an interview. I think we're about 30 minutes in and the battery went dead. So I gotta see if there's a way I can tear into this thing and solder in a new battery. If you have any suggestions on where to source a replacement battery, let me know. This is my pile of stuff that I can never keep up with. So here's a typical example. Got a BNC that needs a new connector. I got a P-tap to 4-pin that needs to be tested. I don't know which side's got a bad connection. HDMI, normally I'd just throw these away. So I need to test this. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's a P-tap splitter. That one I actually marked, so I know what the problem is. Okay, so the idea here, I don't know who packed this up, wasn't me. This is wrapped so it doesn't get all gouged by the ultralight arm. Pro tip, Velcro and microfibers connect to each other. All right, so I got a couple ultralight arm options. I got a power cord. I have spare power cords in my tool chest. In the previous video, I talked about these Amazon PL adapters. I bought these for a 2-camera shoot with my prime lenses, which are PL on the FX9s, E-mount to PL. They didn't come in time, so I ended up having to rent a Metabones mount. And then I was trying these out yesterday on my primes as a test. This one looked good, nice and solid, nicely machined, feels good. The case fell off the shelf when the case was empty and it broke the case. I just booked a job, 3-day gig, starts tomorrow, and we're gonna run one FX9 PL adapter with my Canon 30-300 cinema zoom. So this will be the ultimate test. Big heavy lens. I gotta build a studio support bridge. I'm rating some parts from my Amira kit to do that. I'm gonna run it on 19mm rods. This is my Amira base, BPA3, which will come off because that's Amira specific. This dovetail slides on the base of the Amira. And so all I need here is the BP8 19mm studio bridge plate. And then I have a lightweight 12-inch dovetail. It's already got my appropriate. Put that on there. Okay, so I'm going to break this apart. Okay, one of my little rants, I learned this from my first year working in Los Angeles. Outside my full-time job as an editor, I was day playing in the camera department on film shoots, and union ACs I was working under were adamant about there's only one place for lens cases, no exceptions, and that's in the case. So they're either on the lenses cased or the lens is working, but the caps always, always, always stay in the case. I'm going to make an exception here, which would be the body cap. So I'm going to pull this 50mm prime off this FX9. Set the cap up here. Oh man, I do that every time. The E-mount locking collar is the threaded reverse threads, opposite of every other camera mount in existence. Okay, there we go. All right, so the reason being, if you're carrying a lens, these shades are another hazard. Let's say you're carrying the lens, you don't want to be going over the camera in a live set environment. You don't want to be walking to the camera as an assistant, or small shoots where you're doing everything, which is most of my days now. Like, I don't ever want to be fumbling with a cap and an expensive optic, right? Because the idea is like, what if, oh, I lose my grip and I'm about to drop something. Now I got to decide, am I saving the lens? Do I fumble and I catch the cap and the lens hits the ground? I've seen it happen. So anyway, never take caps out of their respective cases. So the idea is mount the lens, remove the lens. Ooh, it's dusty. And it goes back to the case and you cap at the case. And actually I'm gonna go clean this in the house because it's filthy. All right, so I borrowed a few items off my C300 camera. I have this Dents, I think that's how it's pronounced, German accessory manufacturer. This is a base for a C300. It looks like the lens height is correct, or it's been close enough so far. I put the matte box up on here, lightweight 15, and follow focus, and also a Hedin motor, everything lined up okay. So I'm hoping it'll be aligned close enough for replacing this bridge plate with this BP8 bridge plate. So everything Arri makes, so refined, precision. I like these 3/8 tie down screws, and they've got the gnarled edges, so they work as thumb screws. And they're nice and wide. They got a wider diameter, so you can get a little leverage when you turn with your fingers. You just finish up with a screwdriver. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to switch to my Zockler 18, which is just barely enough head for this 30-300. And I'm going to, since the camera is hanging off the back, anticipation of the weight of the lens, I'm going to put the body over a tripod leg, because there's the risk as the camera gets heavy, if you're between two legs, you can topple over. All right, PL mount. Like I said, I'll leave the cap in the case. I'm gonna leave the body cap on to control dust, or the final cap. Did it again. The mount is backwards, so loosen. Boy, I feel like a newbie with this E-mount. I just don't have it figured out. Wait, that's there. Take two. There we go. Okay. These rods are redundant. Stage those for now. 19 mil rods. All right, there are different ways of mounting up a heavy lens. They actually, dual close makes a handle for this 30-300, and I was gonna buy it, and then I realized I'd have to buy a new case, which is like another $600 or $700. So I use this so infrequently, and when I use it, it's usually up on the camera for the duration of the day. So if I were shooting more where we're cycling between this lens and primes over the course of days and multiple days, I'd invest in the new case and the handle, but just has not been a need. So instead, what I like to do is I mount the bridge on here, tighten it up in the case, so I'm not fumbling with this and putting stress on the mount, torquing the angle of the lens. Instead, it can just land on the rails and already be guided and supported by the bridge plate, or lens bridge. So pull this lens out of the case, and like I said, I'm going to leave the caps behind. Come up to my camera. You can see here I landed on the bridge. So now the lens is supported. Pull the body cap, which is to keep dust off the sensor. If it were a two-person team right now, I would have all caps removed, and the person at the camera has their hand over the port to keep the dust out. There we go, that locked in. Yeah, it's a touch low. Putting a little bit of stress on the mount. I gotta find, I have other, oh, maybe not. There we go, no, we're good. And now it's stressing it a little bit. So I gotta find a different riser. I've got other riser sizes. If this were all rental gear and I'm seeing it for the first time, I would build up all the accessories, but it's all my own kit and I know it, so I'm not gonna do that. But Micro Four Thirds zoom will go on. I'll probably run the TV Logic 5-inch monitor so that I got a little bit bigger screen for operating for 3 days. And I'm gonna probably run AC power since I'm in a fixed position. That's in the case, and I've got stingers in the truck. I'm also, I don't know if I gotta like repo a lot, but if so, I'm gonna bring my dolly, tripod dolly. All right, let's power this thing up and see how the focus holds. Okay, first thing, obvious here, does not cover full frame 6K, but we already knew that. It's a Super 35 cinema lens. Shooting, now what is it? It's a record format, scan mode. I'm gonna go down to Super 35 4K. Now we're good. I'm curious, let's see if this lens covers the 5K mode. Nope, not on the wide side. Wow. From 100 mil to 300, it doesn't vignette, but 100 mil and wider, a little bit of vignetting at 5K, so that's okay. Super 35 is the plan. Probably gonna shoot AVC long, I. Do that now, 38, 40, 21, 60. I don't know if we're shooting 4K or 1080. Deal with that tomorrow. Okay, let me check my balance. Needs a little more counterbalance. It's pretty good. Okay, so zeroing out ahead, I might as well do that. I'm gonna go to the lightest spring position, keep a hand on the camera, it's unlocked, tilt's unlocked. I'm gonna go to no drag on the tilt, and then you can get a obvious feel for your balance. So if I just go straight level, it's staying. And you can see here, if I come forward a little, let me lock this for a sec. Okay, so if I slide forward, lock. Now when I unlock the tilt with no drag, no counterbalance, it just wants to nosedive. So super obvious I am front heavy. So with everything loose, I'm gonna pull back, and there you go. See, it's staying level in the bubble. So now that I'm happy with that, with the drag still set at minimum, I'm gonna start stepping in the counterbalance until you don't want the camera to spring back to level. Instead, what you want is it to just kind of stay wherever you leave it. And this is a place where an O'Connor fluid head really excels, because you've got variable counterbalance drag where a Zachler is indexed. And this is an older head, so I'm feeling that my tilt up springs are a little more worn than the tilt down. So I'm probably not going to get a neutral state in both directions, but I'm most likely going to be tilting down more than up. And it's such a minor difference that with the drag on, I'm not going to feel that. So I'm going to go one step more spring so that I don't have a risk of a wandering camera. Whoa, hey, that's still kind of loose. What's up with that? Way to go, Dave. All right, so now I got to start over. Oh good, the neighbor's sprinklers just turned on. Let me go see what gear I have on the lawn. Okay, that feels good. And I like a lot of drag on a telephoto lens. I'm gonna try number 6. That feels pretty good, nice and stiff. I'm gonna match on the pan. Oh yeah. Feels good. Not as buttery smooth as an O'Connor. You don't notice it on standard lens sizes, but you get out to 300 mil, you really feel the precision difference between an O'Connor and Sackler. Got a little flex in my sticks too, carbon fiber sticks. Some of that reverse direction springiness is actually in the tripod. All right, cool. Let's check our back focus. So I'm going to go wide open aperture. I'm just going to gain up to 4,000. No ND. See what we got here. So I'm zoomed in all the way. Focus on this case. EF lenses. And zoom out. So I'm going to go out to like 100. Magnify. Okay, so we're exactly 10 feet. I'm going to rack it again, see if there's anywhere sharper. Yeah, it's just like a tick below the 10-foot mark. I'm going to come out to 60, rack it again. And it's about the same, maybe a hair more. Let's go full 30. Rack it. Overexposed and kind of having trouble seeing. I think we're good. So a hair less than 10 at 30 mil and the middle of the lens. Let me go back to 300. Oh yeah, it's definitely a little soft at 300. So it's 10 on the hash, 10-foot hash exactly. Okay, so somewhere my flange distance is off. It could be the Sony E-mount in the camera body, but it's most likely the Amazon adapter Letrator? I don't know, crazy naming. And also I think I'm torquing down on the mount a little bit because my bridge, the alignment's not quite right because these are C300 riser. Yeah, it's not changing the focus if I flex up on the lens mount. No focus change. Okay, so very slightly out. For this job, we are good to go. All right, so as dust control, the exception to the rule on lens caps, I'm gonna grab the camera body cap. Little note on that. When you're working on a production that has multiple lenses and you're changing lenses, you should return the port cap to the camera body case so that then there's no hunting for it after dark in a parking lot when you're loading trucks and you end it on a different lens than which you started. Now I know some ACs like to tape the port cap on the camera with Velcro and leave it there. I'm not a fan of that because it's just another dust collector and increasing the risk of getting crap on the sensor. So I prefer body case. Pan the camera so it's over a tripod leg. Ensure I'm locked, especially after my 2 incidents here of the bridge plate being unlocked. All right, lens in one hand, port cap goes on with the other. Back to the case, cap. So it's a good idea when you case your lenses Standard practice is wide open aperture, infinity focus, and zoom. You want the element group, it's either zoomed in all the way or wide, it depends on the lens, whichever is going to keep your group of lenses away from other optical assemblies. I don't know on this lens, I'm just going to leave it in the middle. Alright, bridge comes off. I transport my FX9s in these soft cases with the kit zooms attached, 28 to 135 EF mount, so I think I'm going to do that for this job versus leaving the lens here at the house and the PL mount installed. Every time I lock it the wrong way. Oh, that was right. Another pro tip, whenever your tripods are in transport, you want pans and tilt brakes unlocked. I have my senior size mag liner. I love it. It's over 15 years old. Zero maintenance and a lot of abuse, and it just keeps going. But with my current van setup, it's too big. So I bought a little rock and roller, the smallest size. What is it? R2. It's a little bit of a back strain because the handle's too low. But anyway, it's suitable for what I'm doing. I just did a job with this, and I really should have had my mag liner because we were on a big ship rolling all over the place, and had the Amira, a dual battery mount on the back, tripod, boom pole on a stand, like 12 batteries and chargers, water bottles, all that stuff. And I just had this little cart, and like I couldn't stack a rolling light stand, a tripod, the built camera, all the batteries, and I had them in a little tool bag, canvas bag, but it was a disaster. So anyway, I ordered the shelf for this R2, and I'm going to build it right now, and we'll try it out on set tomorrow. All right, for the money, I'm impressed. It's pretty good. It's a little bit of a tedious process putting it together, but that's because I had to do it twice because I only looked at the pictures. I didn't actually read the instructions. So I think I'm going to do two things, not today, but soon. I'm going to install a touch and go plate like I have on my other carts, so I can just clip in a built camera package at the truck and roll around location. And I'm also going to build a tripod hanger. I was thinking I would do it just so I can hang one tripod. This is off my tool chest. I made this, just mild steel. You know, something like that. And then, yeah, I'll just drill 2 holes through here. Oh, maybe I can do it down there where it's not part of the radius. Then I'm looking at this. This is the spacing to have 2 sets of sockler sticks hanging. So it's going to overhang a little. I've lost the ability to fold this handle flush now with these brackets on here. So I guess it's not that big of a deal if I have some more steel sticking out beyond the handle. So You have to noodle on that a little bit. I could even, if I'm going to do 2 sticks, then I could potentially put 2 touch and goes. So I've got a quick little transport cart for 2 built cameras. I've done that on my mag liner. You can see here. It's now a rack for lawn tools. Yeah, I'm not going to dig it out. So I'm curious if the cart will fit in the van side door. No, not with the tripods. Although maybe if I move the tripods to this cart, then I could slide this in assembled, or even ramp it in. Interesting. All right, well, I gotta go to FedEx. Ship those cases to California. All right, cool. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.